every smiling face is a friend. Some are demons, wearing the skin of someone you once trusted. There comes a time when the people closest to you begin to reveal who they really are. Not through their words, but through their energy, their actions, and the way your soul reacts when they enter the room. This isn't about superstition. This is about spiritual warfare disguised as everyday relationships. You felt it. The heavy presence, the draining conversations, the unexplained anxiety after being around certain people. These aren't just toxic behaviors. Sometimes they are signs of something darker. If you've ever asked yourself, why does this person always leave me feeling worse? You may already be surrounded. In this message, we're not talking about ghosts, but spirits that live in people. Spirits that manipulate, confuse, and destroy from the inside out. Today, I'll give you 10 unshakable signs to spot demons hiding in friends and family before they take more than just your peace. There are people in your life who don't need to say a single harsh word or lift a finger to harm you. Just being in their presence drains your spirit like a leaking vessel, and you can't quite explain why. You walk into the room feeling fine, maybe even optimistic, but after spending time with them, your energy is gone. Your mood has dropped, and your peace is disturbed. You try to justify it. Maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe you're overreacting, but deep down, your soul knows something is off. These are the people who never seem to pour into you, but always need something from you. Your attention, your time, your sympathy, your energy. It's always about their problems, their drama, their chaos, and somehow you become their emotional dumping ground without consent. They offload their heaviness onto you, then leave you to carry it. But it's not just emotional exhaustion, it's spiritual. Your body can't see it, but your spirit can feel it. These are the kinds of people who wear the face of a friend or family member, but underneath, there's something darker, feeding off the light inside you. It's spiritual parasitism, and they are not always aware of what they're doing, but that doesn't make it any less dangerous. You have to stop asking if you're being too sensitive and start asking why your soul keeps sounding the alarm around certain people. That discomfort is a warning. Your energy is your currency, and not everyone deserves access to it. Start paying attention to how you feel after every interaction. Do you feel lighter or heavier, encouraged or anxious, whole or hollow? Demons don't always come screaming with red eyes and horns. Sometimes they show up with a smile, speak in calm tones, and call you family. But if every encounter leaves you more disconnected from your peace, your purpose, or your power, it's time to recognize that this isn't just a toxic relationship. It's spiritual sabotage. You don't need to fight them, argue with them, or try to fix them. You just need to walk away and reclaim your energy. Your spirit already knows what your mind is trying to deny. Not everyone around you is good for your soul, and some are feeding on it. Protect your peace. Guard your energy. Your life depends on it. They twist the truth to divide you, subtly, skillfully, and strategically, like a snake that coils around your relationships until the life is squeezed out of them. These people don't lie outright because that would be too obvious. Instead, they distort reality just enough to sow doubt in your mind and suspicion in your heart. They play with half-truths, out-of-context statements, and emotionally charged stories that paint others in a dark light, all while presenting themselves as the innocent observer or the concerned friend. Their weapon is suggestion. I don't want to say anything but. Or, maybe you should keep an eye on them. They don't seem trustworthy. Little phrases designed to create cracks in your trust, isolate you from people who actually care, and make themselves your sole emotional anchor. And And once you begin to drift away from those who protect your spirit, you become vulnerable, dependent, and easier to manipulate. This is how demons operate. Not with obvious conflict, but with quiet confusion. They stir the pot just enough to trigger emotional reactions and then step back as chaos unfolds, pretending they had nothing to do with it. They know that if they can fracture your foundation, your support system, your circle, your clarity, they can influence your perception of reality. You'll start questioning the intentions of good people, believing lies over facts, and slowly adapting their narrative as your own. That is spiritual warfare disguised as conversation. And the most dangerous part? These people often appear deeply loyal, even loving. They tell you they have your back, that they're just being real or honest. But what they're really doing is planting spiritual poison between you and your peace. You'll begin to wonder why you're feeling more paranoid, why you're second-guessing relationships that once felt solid, and why your world feels heavier, until you trace it back to one person who always seems to be the common denominator in every broken bond. That's not a coincidence. That's a calculated disruption. Demonic spirits don't always scream, they whisper. They gaslight, they charm, and they divide. When someone consistently brings division but never resolution, constantly highlights flaws in others but never owns their own, understand this: they're not trying to protect you, they're trying to isolate you. And once you're alone, they own you. Wake up, protect your relationships, and most of all, protect your mind from the lies that come dressed as concern. They celebrate your weakness, not your strength, and if you're not paying close attention, you mistake their false concern for real support. These are the people who clap the loudest when you're broken, but go silent when you start to heal. They're right there to comfort you when you've hit rock bottom, when your heart is shattered, when your plans fall apart. But the moment you begin to rise, to gain clarity, to walk in confidence, their energy shifts. Suddenly, they're distant, sarcastic, dismissive, or even resentful. Why? Because your strength threatens their illusion of superiority. Your power exposes their insecurity. As long as you're struggling, they feel needed, relevant, even elevated. But when you stand tall, they feel small. So they prefer you dependent, not independent, uncertain, not empowered. And that's the twisted truth. They don't truly love you. They love the version of you that makes them feel better about themselves. They love the broken you because it doesn't challenge them. They love the version of you that doubts your worth, that seeks their approval, that remains in a state of emotional debt. But when you start setting boundaries, prioritizing yourself, dreaming bigger, and stepping into your purpose, they can't hide their discomfort. They may disguise their jealousy as humor, mocking your ambition, calling your progress a phase, or belittling your dreams as unrealistic. They'll say things like, "Don't forget where you came from." Not out of love, but as a subtle reminder to shrink back down to the level they are comfortable with. Deep down, they don't want to see you win unless they're above you in the process. And that's how you know you're dealing with a spirit, not just a person. A spirit that fears light, that feeds on insecurity, and that celebrates failure as long as it keeps you tied to them. You need to watch how people respond not to your pain, but to your healing. Anyone who feels more connected to your weakness than your growth is not a friend.
Facts.
There is spiritual liability.
Wow.
Demons won't always try to destroy you with rage. Sometimes they'll destroy you with comfort. But comfort in your brokenness is not love, it's control. Stop confusing pity for loyalty. Pay attention to who supports your power, not just your pain. Because real love doesn't fear your strength, it fuels it. They disrespect boundaries repeatedly, not because they don't understand them, but because they believe the rules don't apply to them when it comes to you. These are the people who hear your no and treat it like a negotiation. You say you need space and they crowd it. You say you're busy and they demand your time. You set a limit and they take it as a challenge. This is not miscommunication, it's a spiritual trespass. When someone consistently steps over the lines you've drawn to protect your peace, your time, your energy, they are revealing a deeper truth. They don't value your autonomy, they value their access to you. And access without respect is exploitation.